So I've just came across several videos about South Korea offering $75,000 to black men to make babies with their women. I've seen several social media influencers say this. And when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, what does this matter? I don't care about this. People can do what they want. But as I continued to hear this, I kept saying to myself, this doesn't make any sense. After all, like if black men are getting paid $75,000 to go across the world to make babies, that has an impact on our community. It has an impact on black fathers in and of itself, and it has an effect on the mission of the Father's Advocate, right? So I started to do some research into this, and I love researching. I want to see what these folks were saying and see if there's any truth to it. And I'm so glad I did my own research because, like I tell everyone, don't just take stuff for face value, including go ahead and fact check me. And the thing is, I did a lot of research, and the truth of the matter is that these countries are not looking for black folks to do absolutely anything. But what they are doing is offering $75,000 to their employees. This is a private company in South Korea called Booyong Group. It's a construction firm in Seoul, South Korea, and it's paying their employees $75,000 or 100 million Korean won to have a child each time they have a baby. And the reason for that is to incentivize the women mostly, but incentivize the residents to increase their population size because South Korea has the lowest fertility rate in all of the developing nations. In 2022, they were at 0.78. And I looked at a lot of other articles and it was talking about this, but it's not the government itself that's doing it. It is a private company. However, the government has been offering financial incentives to women to actually have children. They've been doing that for years, as far back as 16 years ago. Now, the reason for this is because the women are electing to be career-oriented and be the very best they can at their career versus trying to be mothers. The reason for that is because they're saying that it is a male-dominated society and they have the full responsibility of taking care of the children, and they just don't want that anymore. I glean from that at least with your career, you can kind of chart your own destiny. But if you are a parent, you not only have to take care of yourself, but you also have to take care of a child, and that's your whole life for what it's worth, up and until you can do, the child is grown, I guess. The other issue is a financial thing, because raising children is very expensive, and so that is one of the other reasons for the financial incentive that's been offered, not only by the government but by these private companies, and it's several companies that's been doing it. So I actually start looking at how this is related to black Americans, not so much what South Korea was doing, but how we're looking in terms of population size. So in black America, our population, interesting enough, is actually growing. And not only are we growing, but our age population is very, very young, which is really good because in South Korea, their population is old, which means that in the next 50 years, they're not going to have a population for the workforce. And that means that they're going to start dying out and ultimately become extinct. And once they're extinct, they're gone, right? So in this particular article, they were saying that the U.S. black population is young, with the medium age at 22 was 32.1%, which is nearly 6 years younger than the total U.S. population. And they said roughly 30% of the entire black population is below 20 years old, while it's only 12% were 65 years older, which means not only is our population growing in size, but we're also young, which means we're getting bigger and more people, and we have a longevity to make a difference. We're going to be here for a while. This issue about population size is not just with South Korea or the Asian countries, but it's also an issue with white America as well. They're concerned as well about no longer being the majority. In fact, I read an article where they say that they're likely, this generation is going to be the last generation to see a white majority. And by 2024, non-Hispanic white people will have fallen by half of all of U.S. population. So it is very serious. But the interesting thing is none of these concerns have an effect on Black Americans. And that is a good thing, because we not only have an increasing population, but our population is large. And what does that mean? We need to start thinking about how we can take advantage of some good stuff. Because, there's so many negative things that we hear about Black folks. Even some of us say negative things about ourselves. But this is a good thing. So while South Korea and China and Japan and even white America is grappling on how they're going to increase their population, that, at least for now, is not a concern for Black Americans. And what does that mean? We can actually make a difference. But oftentimes when things that we have, we don't take advantage of, we take it for granted till we saw someone else doing it. Or someone else making money. When it comes to like our attire, we see other people dressing like that. And now there's this push for gatekeeping the culture. I say the same thing we do about the population. We don't have an issue of population, at least not right now. And our population is very young. We need to harness this and make a move. With this push for gatekeeping culture, moving towards positive living and positive thinking, this is a good thing. And what does that, the way I look at that is we need to stop fighting. All these wars that we have in our community, alpha men versus beta men, you got, professional women versus non-professional men, or they ball busters, or independent women that don't need a man, or people fighting about what's right or what's wrong, or who's right, who's wrong. None of that matters. In my opinion, we need to move forward. Sometimes you have to follow your sword in order to make a difference. And I submit to all of you guys that are listening, take a step back and look at all these folks that are fighting about population and concern that their group of people are going to be extinct. And then look around you and see how can we improve ourselves as a community, and stop trying to prove you right. Any day of the week, I would tell you I want to be right all the time. In fact, I would tell you, argue down, left and right, up and down. I am right. But if it means moving my people to another position where it's going to elevate it, I can be wrong any day of the week, every day, all day. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't make a difference, it's not worth arguing. In any event, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I do want to know your opinion. Let me know. If you want to hear more about it, we do have a full podcast about this. We did a lot of deep dive researching into this because I find it to be interesting. Yes, you can check us out on the podcast anywhere where you hear podcasts, and also on our YouTube channel, The Father's Advocate. This will be up on next Friday, so you can listen to it. But in any event, this is The Father's Advocate. Attorney Hughes. One other thing I do want to add is that we are going to go live right before Father's Day on Friday the 14th. I think right now we're looking at probably 6:30. I'm going to have a special guest. I think it's going to be really, really, really good topic about fatherhood, about trying to move the needle forward. In any event, I hope you stay tuned for that. We will have stuff posted. Anyway, like I said, as I always leave you, this is the Father's Advocate, Attorney Hughes. Don't stop fighting, because your children do need you.